Hello and welcome back, as they say. Um, Today, you want to talk about pensions and wealth, I suppose, or saving for retirement. So, just want to outline the different sorts of pensions that there are. Um, there are private pensions, who we'll look at in a minute. There are company pensions, who we'll look at in a minute. Other forms of savings, so ISAs, building society accounts, investment bonds. What is wealth? We'll have a think about what wealth really is as we go through the slides and get further into it. So, um, just to let you know, this is a discussion about what what I know, and obviously dates have changed. If you're in the UK, you'll know that we had the female retirement age increased from 60 to 65. There's obviously a lot in the press about that at the moment. These waspy women who I don't know. I don't know the full story ins and outs of it, but a lot of them have now retired and have hit 65. Um, but there was a bit of confusion as to whether they thought they were retiring at 60, and then they got to 60, and all of a sudden they were said, "Oh no, actually, don't you remember? We've changed the rules, moved the goalposts. You've got to go on till 65 before you can get your state pension." Anyway, so minimum age actually I think is 55 for withdrawing a private pension. That is increasing, and along with the state pension is increasing as well. Whereas we used to think retirement was at 65, but it's now increasing to 67. And haven't got the reference of the dates, which would have been handy if I had, but keep it in mind the dates are changing. And then also you need to think about people that want to carry on working, because people do carry on working. Um, and also there are ages where you're actually obliged to take your pension. So if you're hitting 75 and you've still got a private pension, you haven't drawn it down or bought an annuity, you might actually be encouraged to start drawing the money out. And I guess that's why you might need to take advice. So what are private pensions? Private pensions are a pot of money or a savings that you get tax relief on. There's all sorts of rules about the tax relief and the amount of lump sums that you can pay in. But you're basically putting money aside for a date in the future where you can eventually withdraw it and use it for other purposes. A private pension with an insurance company, you'd normally get a statement once a year. State pensions and things you can actually write off for projections for your state pension. They're based on how much national insurance contribution you've made. Company pensions are, or I refer to them as final salary pensions. Some of the language in the pension industry is changing, but basically, if you were, I don't know, a civil servant and you joined the final salary pension scheme, you would receive a pension on retirement based on the number of years of service that you've given. Now, these are changing. I know the NHS did some jiggery pokery. That's possibly not the right word, but people that were enrolled on a certain sort of final salary NHS pension were actually being asked to change. So I understand, which is a bit sneaky, and I don't quite understand how people can change the rules whilst people are in work and don't have any say on, what they're going to get at retirement. Anyway, that's me rabbiting on about things that I'm not 100% sure on, but keep that in mind. Um, oh yeah, the only slide where I haven't got a header and footer. I suppose the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Walt Disney, I mean, he's no longer here, is he? To go on about what he had to do to build his theme parks or make his cartoons. And for some reason, in all my slides, this statement seems to appear. Not sure why. Anyway, so yeah, basically, the timeline for taking advice is you need to look at what you've currently got and I suppose think about what it is you're actually trying to achieve. What's your situation now? So, whilst you're thinking about your current situation, you might want to engage an advisor who will do a fact find and they'll look at you in your situation, whether you're working, whether you're not working, whether you're thinking about retirement, how much you've saved previously, all these types of questions. And then once you've done that, the advisor can go away and do some research and then come back to you and present a possible couple of solutions. And either you can act on that or you can send them away and say, no, I'm going to take another opinion. But the point is, you are actually doing something. And if it's something that's on your mind, you're taking action. And that is a positive thing. And then obviously, if you do implement what an advisor says, don't forget to review it because what's current this year may work for you this year, but a year or 5 down the line, certainly circumstances will be different. So don't forget you know what you do today works for today, but what I'm trying to say is things change in the future and adapt with the changes. So next, I just really want to think about what wealth is because pension is part of your income, but also you'll have other wealth potentially. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know your situation, your circumstances, but for example, some people own property, um, which, whilst money tied up in bricks and mortar isn't necessarily ready cash, it can be a way of releasing money. The things like equity release, once you get past age 60, equity release can be an option of getting cash out of your property without necessarily having to sell it. Like I said, the state provide limited pensions. Wealth can be tied up. Some people back in the day said they were never going to pay into a pension and they'd rather save into an ISA, which was a tax-free savings account. So that's another way of people accessing money for other purposes. And then you've also got to think about other things that you have. You might have an antique clock that might be worth a fortune, or that Rolex under the bed that you've forgotten about. When did it last get valued? I'm not saying you've got a Rolex under the bed, but there's other ways of storing money, not just in insurance company funds. And then intellectual property, what can you do that isn't your current work, in inverted commas, that you might be doing money from? There's all sorts of things. If you look around online, there's lots of places where you can volunteer and make, I don't know, whatever you need to make. So really, the point I'm trying to make is keep your field of vision wide, speak to an advisor about stuff an advisor knows about, and then hopefully you'll feel confident to move forward with your life. Thank you for watching. I'm sure I've missed a slide back there. Anyway, Have a good day.